In spring 1993, Michael took this boy and his family to Monaco. Onlookers were shocked to see the boy on Michael's lap. Yet the star was aware of being filmed and didn't look like a man with anything to hide.
They would masturbate themselves in front of each other.
Entertainer Michael Jackson is the subject of a criminal investigation, using to say whether Jackson is a suspect or a victim.
It's a very large room, a lot of stuffed animals, a lot of things that would be attractive to children.
As more damaging details emerged, it was a testing time for Jackson. But he hadn't seen anything yet.
It was December 20th, 1993, and the police came knocking at the door of Neverland with a warrant to photograph Michael Jackson's private parts.
The boy had drawn and described distinctive markings on Jackson's genitals.
Did it prove that he had actually engaged in sexual molestation of this boy? No.
He paid the family a massive settlement, in total reported to be around $25 million.
The resolution of this case is in no way an admission of guilt by Michael Jackson.
I don't want to do a long, drawn-out thing on TV like OJ and all that stupid stuff. And it wouldn't look right. I just said, look, get this over with. I want to go on with my life. This is ridiculous. I've had enough. God knows in my heart how much I adore children.
But isn't that precisely the problem, that when you actually invite children into your bed, you never know what's going to happen?
But when you say bed, you're thinking sexual. They make that sexual. It's not sexual. We're going to sleep.
The first key decision Michael made after his disastrous PR exposure when he was accused of molestation in 1993 was to get married. Just weeks after his marriage, 13-year-old Frank Cassio became the new boy in Michael's life, much to the shock of the police.
We contacted the parents of the children who believed that Jackson did not do anything improper.
Frank Cassio says Jackson's love for children is sincere and not at all sexual.
When you're innocent and you're doing everything that is perfectly normal and right, I'm not going to deviate from that. What am I doing that's wrong?
Lisa was strong-minded and had a real sense of public relations coming from her family. She felt that he should never be around boys ever again, and he was just as adamant that she doesn't get to tell him what to do.
Less than 2 years after their wedding, the couple split. One of the most puzzling things in Michael Jackson's secret world is the behavior of children's parents, particularly the mothers who send their young boys to Neverland.
Neverland, to me, epitomized what in the law is called an attractive nuisance. There are pedophiles that I've come across who own a game store or a toy shop. It had a video arcade. It had a private movie theatre. It had Michael Jackson, the idol of children all over the world. It was the perfect, ultimate lure.
So it wasn't an innocent playground for the recreation of children?
It was more than that, though, I think.
During her investigations, Sandra Sutherland says she also came across a maid at Neverland whose 9-year-old son was an occasional visitor.
Well, she was very worried that her son was likely to be a victim if he hadn't been already.
It recently emerged that Michael Jackson paid the boy $2 million without admitting any wrongdoing. Jackson's current attorney said it was a mistake to settle any of these prior claims because they were baseless. In the meantime, Michael became a father. But throughout this period, Michael Jackson has carried on befriending young boys.
When I slept on his lap, he wasn't like touching me on the parts. I was just sleeping with him, and he was just hugging me, doing nothing to me.
9-year-old Juju met Jackson the summer before last. Juju's family has known Jackson for 9 years, since his older brother Ahmed first became one of Michael's young friends.
When I asked my parents if we could spend the night, they were like, yeah, sure, and they just let us. They know he's not child molested. All that stuff is crap.
I never felt any weird thing about him. I will never believe what they say.
Juju and his brother say nothing sexual ever happened between them and Jackson.
And I trust Michael.
It all began over 2 years ago when I first met the so-called king of pop.
You're actually saying that you climbed that tree?
Yeah, I love climbing trees. I think it's my favorite thing, having water balloon fights and climbing trees.
Don't you prefer making love or going to a concert or?
You know, can't compare it to performing. But other people play football, basketball. I like to climb trees.
We met this 12-year-old boy. Neither I nor the young boy had any idea that our brief encounter would lead to the indictment of one of the world's most famous entertainers.
And then he finally said, okay, if you love me, let's sleep on a bed.
When I heard those words, if you love me, it sent chills down my spine because those are classic pedophile words.
She filed a complaint with the Santa Barbara authorities, a complaint that was later dismissed.
Is leaning against Michael's shoulder, looking up with these puppy dog eyes. You can tell how much control Michael has over him.
You know how Bashir zoomed in on him holding hands, and they try to make it out to be something wrong and dirty?
No one today claims that any abuse had occurred at the time of my interview. The alleged molestation would come later. The 10-year-old was in the hospital, fighting for his life. He made a wish.
And he looked up, he said, "Can I meet Michael Jackson?"
Miraculously, after meeting Jackson, the boy eventually recovered. The boy says he and his younger brother looked at porn on the internet with Michael Jackson. He says they were in Jackson's bedroom with the superstar's friend Frank Tyson. ABC News consultant Joe Tacopina represents Frank Tyson.
Was your client ever involved in showing the accuser pornography?
Absolutely not.
A man who gives alcohol to a child, especially a child with a compromised immune system, is not someone who respects children. That's the type of person who's more likely to molest them, because he's not caring about them, he's trying to cause them harm.
In a TV special to rebut my documentary, the boy's mother defended the star in a written statement read by Maury Povich.
The relationship that Michael has with my 3 children is a beautiful, loving father, sons, and daughter one.
After all the attention's been brought on that relationship, he waits till after the controversy, after the hysteria, to then begin some sort of a sexual relationship with him. That defies common sense.
The mother says Neverland had become a nightmare. They were threatened by Jackson aides, not allowed to leave the property, and that she and her family were being held hostage.
Neverland is hardly an inescapable fortress. In fact, there are no secure fences around the large estate, only these split-rail fences that can be easily breached. They were also prevented from knowing the time. This too is hard to believe with the abundance of clocks on the premises.
During the period of time when they're allegedly held hostage, the mother and her teenage daughter getting manicures and pedicures, I mean, it's laughable.
You're fundamentally saying that this cancer victim and this entire family are liars.
Yes, Michael Jackson has a bullseye on his back. Who do they go to first? A lawyer. If my child, and I believe my child was sexually abused by someone, I'm not looking for a personal injury lawyer. I'm looking for a police officer or a baseball bat. The mother drives this train, who is claimed not to be after the money, but all she wants is money, went to the same attorney that got a $20 million settlement for Michael Jackson 10 years earlier.
She may not be the best parent on the planet, but she cares about her son, and she would force him to lie about being molested? A rather extensive story of not only how Michael Jackson came to meet the family, how he selected them.
Michael continued with children because he was innocent. The people that accused him know they're lying.
And his mother, in fact, has said, I know for sure, 100%, he's not guilty. And the truth is, those people don't know. They weren't there. Child abuse doesn't happen in front of witnesses.
He's his own worst enemy when it comes to some of his decisions, but he's not a child molester.